This is The Space Shot, episode 241 for January 9th, 2018. Remembering John Young. Hey everyone, welcome to The Space Shot, your daily space history, pop culture, and news fix. I'm John Molnix. Today we're taking a moment to remember John Young, the Gemini, Apollo, and Shuttle astronaut that led what I believe is the most impressive career of any astronaut to date. As you've probably heard, Young passed away on January 5th of this year. His first spaceflight was on board Gemini 3, the flight with the infamous corned beef sandwich. That mission launched on March 23rd, 1965, and I'll be talking about that mission here soon. Young's second flight was on Gemini 10, and this was the first time that a spacecraft had rendezvoused with two different target vehicles, in this case, an Agena. I talked about this mission back in episode 65, so be sure to download that episode to learn more. His third spaceflight was on Apollo 10, which was the dress rehearsal for Apollo 11. I talked about this mission back in episode 4 and 5, which is kind of crazy to think about, so check out some of those very, very early episodes of The Space Shot. After 3 space flights, Young finally landed on the moon. On April 16, 1972, Apollo 16 lifted off from Launch Complex 39A in what was the penultimate launch of the Apollo program. Young spent 3 days on the lunar surface with Charlie Duke, exploring the lunar highlands, on foot, and on the lunar rover. I'll talk more about this mission in April. John Young and Robert Crippen became the first astronauts to fly on the Space Shuttle when STS-1 lifted off on April 12, 1981. Young became the first and so far only astronaut to fly on 4 different if you count the lunar module, types of spacecraft. This 2-day mission was the first time that the Space Shuttle had ever flown, and I'll be talking more about this mission in April. Young's final spaceflight was part of STS-9, which was the first Spacelab mission for the shuttle. I talked about this flight back in episode 198, so go back and check it out if you haven't listened. As you've probably gathered, Young had an incredible career at NASA. Over the past few days, people online have been sharing memories and photographs, and even if you didn't know him personally, like most of us, it's still kind of an emotional experience. I've always enjoyed watching the interviews that Young had done over the years, and from what I can tell, he had a very dry and very good sense of humor. When he retired from NASA in 2004, Young said that of all of the moments in his career, he, quote, liked them all. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. I'd love if you could leave a review for the podcast on iTunes. If you do that, screenshot it and send it to me at John Molnix, pretty much everywhere on the internet, and I will send you a Space Shot sticker and a little thank you. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe button, that way you don't miss any of the daily episodes. As always, the show notes have more information on today's episode. You can hit me up on Instagram and Twitter. Find me at John Molnix. I'm always up to chat. You can also connect with me on Facebook. Just search The Space Shot or click the link in the show notes. Tomorrow we've got a shuttle mission, a little bit of pop culture, and hopefully an update on the Falcon Heavy static fire that's taking place later today. I'm John Molnix, and I'll catch you on the flip side.